Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. So, I am super excited to be bringing on my good friend today, Uhuru, who is one of the top up and coming rising stars in real estate, all the way in South Africa. So, a little bit about Uhuru. He's built his Instagram page to now over 100,000 subscribers or 100,000 followers, whatever you want to use as far as the term. And man, this is something that not a lot of agents here in the US can even do. So, really, really excited to be bringing him on to talk a little bit about what he's doing on social media, what he's doing as a real estate agent, and what he's doing as a team leader, as well as somebody who is really on the front edge of AI and automation as well. So, Huru is somebody who is always looking into the future, building on his business, and building using the technology, the tools, and the insights that we're going to be using in order to actually set ourselves ahead in this business, in real estate, as an agent, as a team leader, or as anybody who is an entrepreneur as well. So, Uhuru, man, welcome to the show. Super excited to have you join us here today to share a little bit about your insights.
Oh man, thank you so much, Kobe. What a privilege to be here. You should get like applause, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Every time you show up, man, we should get some applause coming in and some cheers in the crowd, right? Because you're doing
No,
quite a bit.
no, 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 not for me, not for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it should be for you because you built up your Instagram presence to quite a bit, and I think that was how we were able to get connected in the first place. So
Mm,
yeah, man. So before we dig into all of that good stuff and how you were able to do that and what you're using your Instagram following and how you're leveraging that for your business, I would love for you to share. I know we talked a little bit about this the first time we met, but for our
yeah.
audience, a little bit about your background and just how did you get into real estate as an agent?
So, all right. So I'll try to keep the story quite sweet. Is that I saw this one lady driving a car, and she had like a magnet. Um, what do you call this thing? She had a magnet on the car and it said real estate. So for me, right, when I saw that, I saw a movie where, this one guy is driving a car, a drop top, driving in around neighborhood, and he's walking into a property and he's wearing a suit. And while he's wearing a suit, what happened was, there's this two couples. He goes around, shows them the property, and shakes his hand, and boom, that's a check. And I'm like, I want to do that. So when I saw that magnet, that's the picture that came into my mind, and I said, I need to ask her the question. I said, hey, hi, how are you? Listen, I'd like to do what you do, be a real estate. I don't even know that they call ourselves a realtor or a real estate agent. I just like I want to do that. What she said was, give me your number and I'll call you. I mean, having a little bit of faith, I gave her my number, and she actually texted me back, and she said, "When can you come to the office?" And I said, "Listen, I can come now." I was doing nothing, Kobe. I was doing nothing. So I went there, and tell me about a little bit about yourself. And it's always for me, it's quite difficult because I mean I'm a bit technical person, so I'm already overthinking it. Maybe you just want to get to know me on a personal level, on a professional level, but I'm already overthinking it on how can I share with you. So yeah, it took us about, I think, about 30 minutes to navigate and have conversations, and at the end, they asked me a question: when would you like to start? And I said, even now. And that's how I got into real estate. That's literally how I actually got into real estate. Little did I know that you don't get paid every single month. You need to close a deal to make money. So yeah, I got into that, and weeks are passing by. I'm getting trained, and I'm feeling so lucky. I'm using my mom's car. They thought I'm coming back. I'm going to an interview. I'm coming back. I said, listen, I'm not coming back. I already got the job. Kudos. We're doing this. And I think 30 days. 30 days passed, and there's no paycheck. Number one, there's nothing on the table that I can show at home that I got a job. And then I had to, jump out. That was in 2017. So I had to jump out, get into something that could make me money. That's how I got into Forex. So I stayed in Forex quite for a very long time, and 2020 hit. And that's where everything was bottling down and it was just going haywire. And that's why I lost a lot of money. I always say that I lost my own billions, my little billions with the big guys in the market. And then I had to choose. I had to choose because you know what happens when you're in the foreign exchange market is that you need money to make money. So for me, I had to rely on the money that I had to make more money out of it. And when I lost all the money that I had, I literally had to find another way of making money. And then I decided in two things. I had to get into sales in terms of selling cars, or I had to get into property. Now, I told you this. I love property. I'm quite passionate about real estate, and I chose I chose selling properties because of that picture that I had behind my what do you call this thing? My brainer is that I had to become that guy. I had to become that guy that drives with the drop top that just sells and shake hands and make money. So I said, listen, I'm getting into real estate, and that's how I got into real estate. Fast forward, it's 2021. I'm getting into real estate. I'm a newbie and I need to make it. So that's how I got into real estate.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So, I mean, it's almost like you were forced to get into that position, right?
Uh,
Because for a lot of people, they're thinking like, man, like I just want to start this career. But if you look at the very successful agents, it's almost like they're in a position in their life like you were, where maybe you were doing something else, and then there was
yeah.
a lot of adversity that came
Mm,
upon them in their life, and then they just thought, why don't I get into real estate as an agent, because this is a very, I would say, low overhead business, right? It's something that you can
yeah.
start doing without having to have money like in Forex or trading. That's something that you would actually have to have capital to start doing
Mm.
as well. So you started in real estate almost like in a position where you were forced to do it. And I'm assuming you were able to get started pretty successful immediately because you had to get out there and just start making money.
Uh, That's that's actually funny what you're saying because I didn't even, like literally I didn't have it that easy because analysis paralysis. I overthink things. I overly think before I actually take action, and that's something that I'm still working on. Some of these days when somebody comes with an idea, I say, okay, there's only one way to find out if it works or it doesn't work. Is that we need to work on it, and if it doesn't work, we leave it. That's it. That's what we need to do. So with me in that 2021, it was for 12 months, I never made a sale. I genuinely didn't make any sale, literally zero. So now I'm heading into 2022 and I'm thinking, man, I need to make money now. Now I really need to make money because all the savings that I had that I got from my mom, it's done. It's done. It's done. I need to now rely on making a sale. And so I did. But you understand, not every sale that you close can materialize as well. So what then happened in 2022, I I saw something. I mean, I was closing deals, which is it's one step ahead, it's one step closer to killing it. And I'm like, oh, and I actually closed for 16 transactions. Only five made it through. Only five made it through. I was devastated. But December, I sat in the office. I think that's when also just ChatGPT came out,
Mhm.
and that's when, I mean, maybe it came out before, but I started using it in around December, late 2022, and I was just on my, maybe I'm mistaken, but the point is, I sat down at the office. I created a spreadsheet and I had to see where was I going wrong with these other transactions that I never saw them materialize. And I changed a few things, and little did I know that I'll be in a position where only one deal will fall through or only two, and that's because of it's not because of affordability. It's not because of they they're not in that space anymore of getting that property. They're not in alliance anymore. And they, I mean, you know how people are. Sometimes you get a client that wants to make their wife happy, and all of a sudden it actually doesn't work out, and they need to now jump out of that transaction because the point of buying it was to make her happy, and she's not satisfied and she's still leaving me. So might as well just not buy the property. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I would I'd say that analysis paralysis got to me, and but it was a blessing and a curse because after that I started seeing, the change in my real estate career, the quality that I would produce compared to the quantity that I'd have to, get it signed and get it over and done with just I mean, I think my motivation in 2022 was different. It was, can we get a sale? And I was excited just to get a sale. Now it's all about doing the best quality, and that's why we've got the slogan, if you go on social media or Instagram, cares about you because we care about you to make sure that it becomes a successful transaction. You just don't feel anything. I'll feel the heat, I'll feel the burn. But when I work with you, you shouldn't feel anything because we care about you.
And that's the right way to approach a client relationship, right? So I think that's such a great
Yeah,
slogan that you have when it comes to approaching your clients because you're the
yeah,
one that says, "Hey, I'm going to take all the heat. I'm going to take all the stress and all the emotions, and then I'm going to take that away from you and then serve you so that way you can have a great experience." Now, kind of going back a little bit to what you said, I identified that when you were talking about and the end of like I would just say like your first official year in real estate, right? When you
mm,
closed five transactions that actually went through from your 16, what you did was
mm,
at the end of the year was you actually went back and you looked at everything that you did and you started to make a spreadsheet and start tracking, right? What is it that you
yeah,
were doing? I think that's very important for a lot of agents who may be struggling or maybe even very
yeah,
successful to do because if you don't know what it is that is working and you don't know what it is that isn't working, you wouldn't have no idea how to improve upon that. So I think that's something that based on kind of our interactions, you've done a really great job of, which is tracking and then really identifying what is working, identifying the facts, so that way you can
yeah,
go ahead and move forward in the correct direction.
yeah. And you know that saying, women lie, men lie, numbers don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
100%.
that's awesome, man. So just kind of going into the social media side a little bit, right? So when did you start, building up your Instagram presence, right? You have a huge presence on Instagram now. I think it's 105,000 followers the last time that I checked, probably growing even further at this rate. So when did you start putting that as a focus for your marketing in order to start generating more clients and more business?
So that started happening, I think, in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I need to remember I need to remember that quite well. But it was I now wanted to, and I started studying, the people that are doing it out there, and how they. I mean, I was told to, I need to cold call, which is not a bad thing, you know what I mean? But I told myself there's gotta be another way. There's literally gotta be another way. This cannot be my life forever. You know what I mean? I'm lazy. Come to think of it, I'm so lazy that I'm always finding a solution to have that cure, and to feed that laziness, because I'm always finding, how can I do it? How do I make it so simple that I don't have to think? I'm always constantly thinking about that. And I think we were blessed and privileged to have, artificial intelligence jumping in. So now going back to how I started is that I started looking on the outside. What are agents doing out there that I can do in here in South Africa? And it looks like I'm a pioneer. You know what I mean? So I started doing that. I started looking at what Americans are doing. And boom, they're doing social media. So I knew that I was not gonna go into, because I mean you need a budget, and at that time I don't have a budget. I don't. So now I need to have like a production team that takes the videos, that walks through in, and right. So now I had to now break it down to a part where it can suit me now as well, where I can look like I'm doing what they're doing, but I'm using the resources that I have. So I started at that time, and I just call like any agent that we have in our agency to say, hey, listen, you've got a nice property. It's a 4 million rand house. Can I do videos? That's what I had to say. Can I do videos? And they say, yeah, sure, no problem. Now I would take snippets and snippets and snippets and snippets of videos because I wanted to create content that can be consistently being posted every single day so that so I can start getting engagement, so I can start attracting people into, hey, we like this, we want to see more. You know what I mean? So I started doing that, and I had a consultation with, I don't know if you know him, but luxury home Johannesburg. I mean, I saw him doing it first in South Africa. So I said, I want to do that as well. So I sat down with him. I said, how do you do this? And we had like a chat. Oh, he can talk. Oh my God. We became friends. So, getting that insight and seeing what they're doing and combining it and saying, this is the approach that I'm going to take as a real estate agent. So at first I was hiding who I was. It was just millionaire real estate SA. That's it. You could never know who it was. And then I told myself, as soon as I reach 100,000, I think that was the goal. That kept me going because I had to reveal who I am. Because I mean, I started seeing my friends posting my, I started seeing my friends posting my videos, and I'm thinking I want to tell them, oh man, that's me. You know what I mean? But I said the goal is you become a secret agent up until you reach 100,000 followers, and then you reveal who you are. And that's what I did. And I did it constantly. I had a schedule. I had alarms to tell me to keep me accountable. Post at 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. And that's what I kept on doing. At first, you don't see anything. So I even wanted to give up. But what I like about algorithms is that they don't forget. So you posted me last week, but I'm still on the internet. So I think if somebody is maybe listening to this and like, oh, I need to get into this. Well, when you get into this, when you start, you shouldn't stop. Listen to Alexi Mosey as well, just saying that once you start, you rather stop at the 100th content rather than stop at the a third, because you won't even see results. So I had the kind of mentality. I had to do it. I had to do it. It has to work. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it has to work at the end of the day. So I kept on doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just consistency, I think, is so important when it comes to social media, right? And that's how you were able to build up.
Yeah,
Now, I think now you said you started in 2023, so it's about 2 years now, right? From
yeah.
starting and getting into 100,000 followers. And that's really incredible. Like not a lot of people can do that in 10 years, right? So
Mhm.
what was your posting schedule like? It sounded like it's a very, very intense schedule. You're posting, I'm assuming, multiple times a day,
Yeah.
is what you're doing.
So it's you posting. So my schedule was 369 12 369 12 every single day. 369 12 369 12. Now, however, I thought consistency was making sure that you're posting at 3 and 6 and 9 and 12. But sometimes I'd miss the times, and I feel bad, and I'm like, I need to wait for another one. No, 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 you don't have to. The fact that it missed you, you can still catch up. Just post the goddamn content. Just post it. Because now it's gonna equivalent to the post that you wanted to post out there. Yes, you wanted to post at 3 p.m., but you had an appointment. Yes, you wanted to post at 6, but you're probably sleeping. Yes, you wanted to post at 9, but you were having a conversation with friends. But after having that conversations with friends, when you get home, you can post because it's gonna catch up with you. I mean, I still get punished from Instagram for not posting. There was a time I'm like, I'm truly tired and drained. Oh my gosh, this is too much. And we can use the systems that they gave us on the platforms, but for me, it doesn't feel authentic anymore. I mean, you can use like schedule posting. You can just schedule 5 posts at a go, and then you're done for the day. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to feel like I'm posting it right now. So it's my fault. It's my fault, but it's there. There was a time I was using like a schedule posting where I dedicate just maybe 30 minutes or an hour because I was getting used to it. I had to decide, what am I posting? How am I posting it? How am I editing it? How am I doing it? So I was just, fixated on a lot, like again, analysis paralysis. But if you are someone, if you are a go-getter and you're a doer, you're like, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Man, it'll probably take you about 15 to 30 minutes to decide which you need to post and put it out there and schedule it for five posts, and then you're done for the day. You'll see it another day. So that was my schedule: 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 a.m., 12 p.m. Yeah, 12 p.m. And then 3 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m. And sometimes I'd get it confused. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it paid off. It paid off.
Yeah, so you were posting what 4 to 8 times a day. It sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah. I had nothing to lose. I had nothing to lose. I genuinely had nothing to lose. Imagine having a business where you're not making money. So it felt, for me, it felt like I was aligning myself and putting myself and positioning myself for success. And was it hard? Yes, it was, because you're not seeing results yet. And people are asking you questions. Is it working for you? And you're like, not yet, but it'll work.
Yeah. If you stay consistently enough with any strategy, I think that's the most important thing. Everybody asks like what's the strategy you should use, right? Should I cold call? Should I go do social media? Should I do YouTube? Right? And then the correct answer is if you work a strategy long enough, consistently enough, and put as much
Mm,
effort into it as you would, then it will work over time. But you have to stick to it. And you such a great testament to what you've done, right? You were very aggressive, but you were also
mm,
very consistent, right? Even if you
mm,
missed, like you said, a specific time, you wouldn't just
mm,
give up, right? Because there's some people that says, I'm sure there's agents out there, not to like knock them, but I'm sure there's agents out there who will say like, I missed my post at 3 today. I'm just going to stop social media altogether, right? And that's not
yeah,
the correct way to do it, right? You just post maybe
yeah,
3:30 or 4, right, or some other time, right? Because you
yeah,
can
yeah.
still get your content out there. So I think that's very important. So another question for you on the social media side, you started this just yourself, right? You said you didn't have a budget, you were going at this alone, you were going at this almost like a one-man show. Is it still at this
Mm.
point the same thing, or have you built up your production team and have a huge backing behind you to film your content and post it and edit it and everything?
Okay, so now let's talk about let's go back a little bit. I used to do photography and videography and stuff like that, so I'm quite choosy. Each and every person that says I want to work with you, they use words like, and this is their downfall when they want to work with me, is that they use words like, I can't do it the way that you do it, and I'm like, uh-oh, uh-oh, that's the wrong mentality to have, because I paid the price. I paid the price. I've been doing whack as videos out there. I've been posting them, and I've been doing it, and people were not noticing it up until now. Can you imagine the time that I had to pay in order for me to know how to edit, how I'm editing right now, how to take the angles, how to think like a videographer. It took me a bit of time to get there. So when you coming in with that kind of mentality, you are throwing me off. So to answer your question, I'm quite picky on who I need to work with, because what I need is, somebody that says, I'll champion. I don't know how to do it, but I'll figure it out. Because we all learn. We all learn, and all you need is just one person to give you a chance. And there you go, you're gone. So anyone that had that kind of mentality is, listen, kudos, let's jump, let's work together. But I haven't met people that says, listen, Uhuru, I want to get there, and I'm happy to work to get to that level. And that's it. Don't tell me that you can't do it. Don't tell me that you want to be on my level. You can be better I always say that you can be better than me. And everybody wants to just, try to get to that level. And it's just I just, switch off and stuff like that. So I'm still doing it by myself. I'm a videographer, I'm an editor, I'm the production, I'm the drone pilot, I'm doing everything because there's a way that I want it to be done, and there's a way that I want it to be portrayed out there and stuff like that. But if I can find any person or a team that has the kind of mindset to say, or challenge me, in fact, to say I can do it better than you, game on, let's go.
Yeah, I think you're just giving the secret sauce away to anybody who's looking to work with you, man, on this show. Now they're gonna come in with a different script in your Instagram DMs and say like, "Hey, I can, I see your page. I can do it better than you," or "I don't know what to do, but we'll figure it out." So you give them a chance now. But just kind of go back, man. I think it's so impressive, right? Because even for me, I looked at your page when we first got connected, and I'm like, "Wow, man, this guy has 100,000 followers. Like he must have a production team of at least 5 people behind him, right? And the quality of
Mm,
the videos are fantastic as well. And then now to hear that it's still a one-man show. It's still just you pretty much doing all the work. You're doing all the posting, and you're
yeah,
going out there and running this page that has so many followers, that's generating you business, that has fans, that has other people who are, wishing, other agents wishing they could build something like this and thinking, man, I don't know where to
yeah,
start. I don't have the
mm,
resources that Uhuru has. I don't have the time, right? Whatever it is. And then you're like, man, I'm still doing this. I'm closing deals. I'm jumping on podcasts, and I still run this page of a
yeah,
100,000 and growing
yeah.
followers.
Yeah. So I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that, how we connected, and you got a text that says, "Hey, Kobe, thank you for following. Let's that was me. That was me. I had to, because I wanted you to engage with me now. But little did you know that I've got a hidden somebody that's waiting for you to have a conversation with you. And it's what you make out of it, man. You just have to start, because when you start, you end up figuring things out at the end, because you now need to, you end up just, getting yourself into trouble, which is getting problems. Now you need to solve the problems, and that's how you move forward. Just start, you find the problem, you solve the problem, you get another one, you solve the problem, and when you look back, you're actually not where you started. I mean, right now you're making me think, and if I was an emotional guy, I probably will be crying right now. But it's hard for me to bring out tears. But anyways, you're making me think about it on how I started, because I felt the same way. And speaking to luxury homes Johannesburg, and I said, but I don't have the phone that you have, I don't have the equipment that you have. Is it use what you have then? I'm like, oh, the quality. I was like, who cares about the quality? Just start. If you were to take your time, your precious time, your busy time, Kobe, and you go down there, you'll see that my content was horrible compared to the ones that you see. But back then, people liked it, people commented, people, they don't care. They just want to look. And so for me is giving somebody who's thinking about it way too long, I say stop thinking about it and just do it and see what happens. Just do it.
Just go ahead. Just start with who you have. That's
Just
from all the very successful content creators. That's what they say, and they always say like
mm,
you're looking at your content now, right? We're looking at the produce and the quality of the content you have now, but they're saying, always go to somebody's page and then figure out how you can filter it so that it's oldest to newest, and then look at their oldest content first. So that way
mm,
you have a better understanding, more confidence to get started because now you see everybody who has come before you who is successful that you want to model your page after, they started with the same or maybe even less that you're starting with and they were able to make it work. And that's exactly what you've done. And I'm really excited to have you share that with everybody as well on our audience.
yeah. Yeah, and Kobe, I actually, I don't want to take all the credit. I did the work. I get it. I 100% get it. But I studied the people that have already doing it or have done it. Stand on the shoulders of giants. I went on, luxury homes Johannesburg, and I went on their page. I studied the page, and when do they post? How many times do they post? And I went on Gary V's post. He posts quite frequently. Like every time I go on Instagram, I see his post. And I'm like, hang on, I need to go check how many times he posts in a day. I mean, he's got a team, but that's fine. I don't have a team. That means I would have to do those posting every single time. But I studied the people that are doing it and who already have done it, and I just did what they did. I just rinse and repeat. That's all I did. I genuinely just looked at the giants that are doing it, and I was just standing on their shoulders. That's all I did, and I started.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what you need to do, and that's the only thing that you can do, especially in the
Yeah,
beginning as well.
100%.
So let's
Yeah.
talk now a little bit about kind of what you're doing with AI and automation because I'm very fascinated by just how much effort and how much time that you've put into developing not just the knowledge for utilizing AI, but also implementing it in your business as well. So you mentioned that you discovered or started using ChatGPT back in December of 2022. That I believe was the correct date because that was when I first heard about it as well as December 2022. So was
Mhm.
that, I mean, what got you in AI? Was it just that in the beginning, just ChatGPT? Because now you've developed systems that are, even integrated into your multiple different platforms as well. So what has that been like discovering, implementing, and using AI in your business?
All right. So my dad was the influencer of how I tick in business. To be honest, and he said you can, if it happens in your life that you struggle with anything, let it be, but never ever struggle with technology. So I've always chased technology. Anything that looks shiny, that's tech, I want to find out what it is. And when I got into real estate, then it became a different story because I didn't just want to find out what it is. I wanted to find out how I can use it in my business. So when AI came out, not a lot of people knew about it, and I went on YouTube because we've got all teachers in the world right now, so we don't need to go out there and find a specialist and listen to them and wait for them to take out a whole episode. I just go on YouTube, university, and I say, what is ChatGPT? And they teach you and they tell you what is ChatGPT. Now, while I'm listening and incorporating that information in my head, is that I'm also listening to, but how can I use it in my business? So at first I was just generating like descriptions. That's it, because I'm lazy, remember. I'm lazy. I'm not gonna sit down. I'm like, oh, three-bedroom, two-bathroom, oh, beautiful and contemporary, those kind of cute beautiful words that we use as real estate agents. I said, I just want to punch in, create a description, three-bedroom, two-bathroom. These are the specs. This is what you have. One, two, three, da da da, boom, 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 enter. And then I get the whole description. On all I want to do is just copy and paste. That was my motto. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. So I used to boast about it to my clients. I say, if you were to give me a mandate right now and I get into my office right now, your property will hit the market in the next hour. Little did I know that I'm not even doing that description. And I even said, listen, you better read my description because I took time to I took time to write that. And the feedback that you get is, oh my gosh, did you just say them like, I had to high five ChatGPT Electronica. I said, high five, thank you so much. I am grateful to have you. And then it got more interesting when I started learning and seeing people. Like I said, I constantly chase technology. Seeing someone that says, "Hey, comment a specific word on, let's say, comment blue, and you will get something in your inbox." And hang on, blue, I do that the whole exercise. Blue, boom. Hey, how can they do it? So I had to go find out how they do it. So I did. ManyChat. They're using ManyChat, so I now need to invest in ManyChat. And I said, okay, I want to do one, two, three, four, five. But I had to use ChatGPT to, create a prompt that speaks about who I am or how I want to speak to clients rather than you sounding like a robot that says step one, step two, step three, step four. I wanted people to feel like it's a real estate agent. And even if they want to know if it's a robot, yes, declare that you are a robot, but let that be that they are now fixated much on getting the information rather than who are they getting it from. So it needs to feel like it's a team.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's so incredible the fact that you you were able to get into AI as early as you did, right? Because I mean, it took a lot of agents. I think I read this somewhere. I don't know how accurate it is, but I think it was a Facebook post that somebody heard from a talk that 0.6% of the entire world's population have used
Yeah.
AI in any way, shape, or form. So the fact
Mm,
that you're using it and the way that you're using it and how much you're using it in your business really puts you in I guess, the top 0.6% of people or higher
that's crazy.
in the entire world, right? And
Yeah.
that's even more so in the business space as well. So for agents out there who, maybe they don't know what AI is, right? Which is, I'm sure there's people still out there like that, but maybe they don't think that they should invest any time or knowledge into learning AI. What do you say to these agents, right? Why should we, as real estate agents, as business owners, be investing time into learning AI, but also investing time into implementing it as quickly as possible into our business?
Hey, hey, hey. Are you tired of writing that description by yourself? Are you tired? Are you tired of doing everything by yourself? Do you feel like you need an assistant that can assist you while you're on an appointment? Do you want somebody to set appointments for you? Do you want systems where you, when you're sleeping, when you wake up, you've got appointments that are on your calendar and all you're doing is you're closing deals? Use AI. I'll say that. I'll probably say that.
Yeah.
I'll probably say that. I'd say, listen, wait, look no further. You don't have to know it. You don't. You genuinely don't have to know it. I'll give you an example right now. Is that you don't even know what to say. Normally, I would probably say something like, "Hey, what's the weather like?" And I'll get a response from it. In the weather, where are you right now? So I can give you the link. So so now we are in a space where you don't have to type, you don't have to think with because I mean what you're thinking, what you're writing might not be the same and might not come out that way, but having a conversation and when they created artificial intelligence was that they've created coding into wording that we use today so that it's easy on the consumer to use it. You know what I mean? I'm not the smartest. I always say I'm not the smartest. I genuinely think I'm not, but I'm quite curious. So that makes me look like I'm smart. I go out there and fish and ask the why and the who, the what and the where. How do I use this? Where can I use it? Why do I need to use it? And when I get those answers, it just changes my mind. When I need to prepare for a lot of things, I use ChatGPT. These days, you can go on ChatGPT and say, "Hey, in this area, look for properties 1, 2, 3, 4, 5," and you just focus on those properties, and you don't have to sit on property. We use Property 24, by the way. You guys use Zillow, right? Um, yeah, we sit on instead of sitting on Property 24 and going one by one of all the properties, you are now working and you literally don't have to have the speed, but you will have the speed because you are looking for information, specific information, and it gets that information for you. So AI is your best friend. If you're not using it, you are losing it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the next evolution of where
Mm,
we're going in business, but even like more so than that, just where we are at as far as technology, right? We saw social media take that role back in like the early mid 2000s, right? People were like, "What is this Facebook thing?" Right? What is this MySpace?
mm.
Everybody remembers MySpace.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I've heard about it, but now it's like everybody's using it. All the big companies are investing heavily, billions of dollars into developing their social media presence. Right? People like you mentioned earlier, Gary Vee, right? And then people like yourself, the individual who's able to leverage these platforms. I think AI. That's where we're going, right
Yeah.
at this moment, and we're just getting started, too. So
Ah,
it's something that you can really take advantage of.
we haven't seen anything. I think we haven't seen anything. Um, there was a way of doing or using AI, and what I've seen, it's so subtle that you don't even feel it, but you end up realizing when you are being analytical about it, is that it couldn't create spreadsheets, and now it even suggest to use a spreadsheet for you. And I'm like, heck yeah, you couldn't do that before when I was using you. And now you're asking if you can. Please, by all means, right away. So we haven't seen anything as yet. And if you're not catching up right now, you don't even have to know any other models again, in terms of using AI. Is that just start using it in some way. Just thought you I was so scared that I will be falling behind. But when I started, having that thing of, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it, I started feeling like I'm catching up because I'm doing it. And I had to remind myself, not everybody's doing it, so I need to do it. So I need to constantly do it. And that's what I did. So if you're not using it, yeah, we haven't seen anything as yet. We definitely haven't seen anything yet. I would love to see the day where you've got an AI agent that is literally doing everything for you and you're just closing deals. I think we're gonna hit there soon.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think ChatGPT, they're coming out with the operator agent by the end
Yes.
of the year. I'm very excited about that. I think the capabilities there is so phenomenal, right?
Mm,
Agents are used to building automations, but those are clunky automations, right?
yeah.
Not clunky, but they can only follow one or a couple paths. But with these AI agents, it's like imagine now having this. I've heard somebody talk about it on a podcast actually. It's like previous automations were like trains. They have to follow a rail, a specific
Mm,
path. Well, AI agents are like planes. They can go anywhere
yeah.
as long as
Yeah. Yeah.
it allows them to navigate. So it is quite incredible. And just kind of ask you just to just wrap up this AI portion of this podcast as well. If there's an agent out there who is looking at using AI, or maybe they're already using it in some capacity, they're learning it, what would you suggest as a real estate agent is maybe the most important or the most urgent way to implement AI in your business on a consistent basis? Is it just writing your property descriptions like you mentioned earlier? Is it to
Mm.
help with customer service and response time? What do you think will be the most important and urgent way an agent could be using AI if this is something they're already familiar with?
So just to maybe understand the question is that what you're saying right now is it's an agent, they are familiar with it, they've used it before, or they haven't used it before.
Somebody who have used it before, so this is not the first time they're using it. They've interacted with ChatGPT, they've played around with different tools. They just need a way to implement AI in their business as kind of that first step to have it be a part of their ecosystem, have it be a part of their day-to-day operations.
I think what they could do is, to integrate everything is, start taking out educational videos on Instagram, on social media, and integrate that, the AI into your content, so that you can now get people to watch, and you probably say if you're interested in more, comment more, and while they're clicking on more, what happens that they'll probably get a response on their DM, and that's the conversation. That's how it's gonna start. So you capture them there, and you start building a database from your social media, and you start calling them and say, hey, thank you so much, appreciate you looking at the video, and you start trying to get their needs. They might not buy now, but if they understand that you are coming from a point of contribution, and you want to educate them and make them understand what they're getting themselves to into getting a property, sooner or later they need a home. They need to get married. They gotta have kids, and you are going to be that real estate best friend. So I would say channel yourself to being a real estate best friend of people. And by doing so, use social media as your billboard and use AI to capture them, to making them seeing you that you do care. Because I mean, if they text you at 1 a.m. and you're probably sleeping, the AI is gonna take over and make sure that all the questions are being asked and you get the relevant information so you can give them a call and take care of them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to implement it. And If you're like Uhuru, you don't sleep. So even at 1 a.m. you can you can respond manually. Right. I'm just kidding. But it does seem like sometimes you're not sleeping because of your automation always working in the background, right? And that's
Mm,
so crucial for an agent because it could just be that 1 second response time that makes a client want to work with you because they know they can reach you or your AI assistant at any
mm.
point to answer one of their questions. And that's how you can become their, like you mentioned, their real estate best friend.
And they actually appreciate it. You know what I mean? They appreciate it. There was one time where I started, everybody that follows, it gets tiring though, and I'm trying to, automate that as well. When somebody follows me, they should get a message, but I want to send a voice note out there to say, hey, thank you so much for following me. I think you got that voice note when I sent you, and I asked you two things because I want to learn what I need to let go of and what I need to be consistent on. So it's any person that follows you as a real estate agent, I would advise you to just say thank you so much and ask them, any advice that they want to hear from a real estate agent, because that's how you start the conversation. You shouldn't wait for them to be in your face. You should be in their face before, so that when they see your content, they can relate. Say, I know this guy. He talks to me. He cares. He really cares. He literally genuinely cares about me. And he was the one that actually contacted me first because genuinely feel like we're doing this whole social media wrong. We want to have so many followers, but maybe we should be following people. We should be following more people than them following us. I think we're doing it wrong. I think I'll figure it out. And we'll probably maybe jump on another podcast, and that could be like a, a whole topic about it.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. The most successful people who are generating business on social media are interacting with people. They're not just
Mm,
posting, right? They're
mm.
interacting. They're doing exactly what you've done. And I'm so glad we got connected because it was so different when I followed you. It was like instantaneously after I hit the follow button, I got a voice message. I'm like, wow, this is you gotta love that response time, right? It is so different because nobody else has ever done that or anything similar to that. So props to you, man. And Uhuru, just want to say thank you for being on the podcast. I think
Oh,
you shared us so much value with us here today, so much great content that other real estate agents can use and start implementing in their business and be inspired to go out there and really take action and start building their presence and implementing AI in their business as well. For anybody out there watching or listening to this that want to follow you, right? Maybe they want to be follower number 100,000, 100,001 or whatever, right? If they want to be the next follower, what are some of the best places for people to find you? And what do you suggest people do to if they want to reach out to you or know a little bit more about what you're doing?
okay. So it's on Instagram. It's millionaire underscore real estate underscore SA. And then there's another page where it's the teams page, which is Millionaire Real Estate Team. And we've got on TikTok, Millionaire Real Estate. Is it Millionaire Real Estate? Yeah, Millionaire Real Estate SA as well. So we also got a good following there. I wouldn't say it's that much, um, on it. And yeah, I just hit me up and let's spark a conversation. You never know where it could lead. I like sharing information. I like empowering. I like giving value where I can. Because I feel as if, if I want to change the world, I need to start with myself. And, I start doing those things before I can give it out there, so that when they get it, it feels like a no-brainer, and it maybe it could change their lives. So I'm hoping that's what I'm doing in the world, changing people's lives.
Yeah. I think you're doing it,
Yeah,
man. I think you are because people are watching your content and I'm sure they're inspired by it just like I have been as well. But we'll make sure, man, we'll make sure to leave all the links to your Instagram and your TikTok in the description, the show notes of this podcast down below. So that way people can find you and they can find you easily. But Uhuru, just want to say thank you again for being on the show. Before we let you go, is there any just last pieces of advice, any last tips, last little golden nuggets you want to leave with the audience?
it's really simple. Stand on the shoulders of giants and use AI. Use AI. Kobe knows I suck at responding to messages. That's why I got into AI. Use AI. You will look better. You will probably look better. So use AI. I don't know. I think and we hear words like consistency and discipline. I cannot even. That's a topic on its own. But use AI however you can. You'll figure it out. You will eventually figure out how you can use it to your advantage. Use AI.
Yep, absolutely, man. Some great advice. And Huru, thanks so much for being on the show. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on the next show. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.